Hey everyone, how you doing? Imran Web Squadron, we're back Wednesday the 17th of July. I've started a few minutes early just to make sure everything was going through okay. I always get a little bit worried about the audio and the sound, especially when about 3 weeks ago I forgot to plug my phone into the computer, so everything was happening wirelessly. And if it happens wirelessly, there's always like a stutter lag effect. So I hope everything is coming through okay. Just say hi to Weberizer. Ahmed Deuce Ishak says, I'm loving. Oh, sorry. Just let me read the comments over here. He says he loves all the videos that we're doing. It helps us sharpen his skills because today's topic is about, are you liking the content we're putting out? And I am mainly referring to the major amount of videos I put out in the last, like, what, 2 days. I put out quite a few videos on Monday, and then Tuesday, and then today, and even last week. And they were all leading up in a way to today's video. And I've been chomping at the bits to get it out earlier, but I felt like I had to get certain things done prior to putting out today's video. And I'm going to talk about that in a moment. Palav, just a small suggestion. Please add a playlist like WordPress tips and tricks. There is already a playlist, Palav. I already have a playlist. It's called WordPress tips and tricks. It's there. I already have it. And what you have to do is, if you are struggling, you just got to do a search. So when you go to the channel, when you have the tabs for like videos or lives or whatever, there's a magnifying glass, and you got to go and put your terms in. I do tag the videos, I do share them. Um, you know, um, if you keep up to date with what's coming out, you'll see when I either redo a video or do something different. But it's already there, and I have already got. It's literally called WordPress. I think it's called Tips and Hints. There is a playlist. It's literally there. I've even got one for code snippets. I used to have one for plugin reviews. I used to have one for site tutorials. So they are all there. Anyway, back to what I wanted to talk about was the video I went and released today. It was about the light and dark toggle. Now, there are plugins, but I'm just going to adjust my microphone a bit. There are plugins out there. There are code pens. There are ways you could do it. But I wanted to show you how, with a bit of careful planning, a simple HTML widget to give you the toggle, and you can stylize it. Because the trouble with a lot of third-party plugins or some tools, it's quite difficult to modify the toggle or the way it looks without going for a premium version or whatever. And the way I've built it is I've just used SVG code, and you could take that code, stick it into ChatGPT, and say, this HTML gives me a sun and a moon. I don't want a sun and a moon. I want a different kind of symbol, and just tell it what you want and it will generate it for you. You don't have to upload anything. Just tell it what you want and it will give it to you. I literally just said, give me the SVG code for the sun and the moon, and it did. Hey Harish, hope you're all right. Hey Khaled as well. Hey Manaf. So I so you can use that and adapt it. And then you got the styling for the background color and the color of the symbols. Again, you can adapt that. Just use what I give you or adapt it. The code snippet. Hey Mark, how are you? The code snippet for that light and dark toggle just helps it to assign the classes. So from the get-go, everything is in light mode, and when you toggle it, it goes to dark mode. When you toggle it back, it takes off the dark mode. So that's all the code snippet is for. Hey Ben, that's all it's for. And then I've given you example CSS as well, which you don't have to copy. But I'm giving you an example of what I'm doing with Elementor or not. So it's basically that HTML and that code snippet and that example CSS now gives you the opportunity to do some light and dark toggling of your website. You have to pre-think though. You've got to get out of the habit of stylizing everything with Elementor style. And by the way, this is not just for Elementor. You could use this code, the video that I released today, for Bricks, Breakdance, Gutenberg, any WordPress website, anywhere where you can stick in a code snippet and a HTML widget and do your custom CSS. That's the beauty of it, all right? It's kind of non-restrictive. Of course, my custom CSS uses the elemental global colors and the elemental CSS class names, like elemental hyphen button. So you would refine it for your particular class widget, but there's nothing to stop you doing that. And if you think methodically about the font clamp or the sizes or the weighting or the color for your H1, your H2, and whatever's, and you know what class names you might use, and you can add to it. Don't forget, this is just custom CSS. So if you later on go, oh, I'm gonna use a button, and I didn't do my custom CSS for that. Oh, so what? You just go back into the custom CSS and go and now say, here's the color for the button, background font. When we go to dark mode, we go to this background and this color. So it's easily adaptable. That's what's so cool about it. And I was so happy that number one, it worked. Number two, I stress tested it a lot. Believe me, I've been looking at this for 2 weeks. And that's when I realized I've got to get other videos out first about custom colors, about multiple class names, about custom CSSing, and thinking about your clamping for your H1, your H6, and your paragraph and all of that. So I've been spoon feeding you bits and bits for the last 3 weeks, I think, 2 to 3 weeks. And then I just released a rush of little videos just to build up the anticipation for the light and dark toggle. Oh, hey, Paul, how are you doing? That's Paul from WP Turt. Mark Harris is also in the house. I thought I would come out under my rock. Let's not start talking about what rock he's got under there at the moment. Hey, Enoch, a crewer. You explained very well on all of it. I try. Here's the thing, right? I do try. I don't think I always get things right the first time, and there's so much I have to edit out. For every 5 minute video that you see, whoops, hit the mic. For every 5 minute video that you see, there's probably about 20 minutes worth of gunk that has to get cut out and slashed out. Hey John, how you doing? Why has John got a spanner next to his name? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm using EV Mux at the moment, so I'm not sure what's going on there at the moment. But yeah, like I said, I'm glad you like the videos too, Eddie. Hey Phil, how are you doing? So that light and dark toggle was something I've been planning for a while, and I had a way of doing it, but I didn't like it too much. I felt like it was a bit fiddly, and explaining it felt a little bit detached, like here's what you get and here's the bit you can customize, but you can't do anything with this. And I wanted to kind of open it up a bit, so go, look, if you want to have your own toggle. And there is something else I do want to mention though, okay, and I'm just going to double check the comments before I get onto it. I released a video yesterday about the contrast checker. Have you tried it yet? So you can add a color contrast checker to your WordPress website. I'm just going to double check something, okay, while I'm talking, because I've just realized that if anyone's trying to contact me, my Facebook Messenger is shut down at the moment. So if anyone's trying to contact me, please just bear with me. Anyway, so I released a color contrast checker yesterday. That allows you to check if your colors are AA or AAA compliant. And if it's not, it gives you recommendations for what colors to go for in terms of shading to hit the compliance level for the ratio, because there's this complicated formula you got to follow. And that leads into the light and dark toggle that I put out today. So I have thought quite a lot about web accessibility. I've tried to ensure that this toggle satisfies the requirements for labels, for speech or text readers or screen readers, sorry, speech reader, for screen readers, ARIA attribute labeling as well. I've tried to ensure that if anyone goes in now and starts to look for loopholes or bits that I've missed out as far as web accessibility goes, I hope that if anyone does that, they're going to come back and go, you did a damn good job. It might not be 100%, But rather than just putting out a light and dark toggle, I've tried to do as much as I can. Um, well, Mark, we can talk about this, can't we? We can go to the nth degree about this one. I'm just gonna double check something. Right, I'm just gonna just bear with me for a moment. I'm just gonna say copy, and I'm just gonna pop in a message to a couple of people. Just bear with me, in case you want to join. So if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm just letting a couple of people know if they want to join, they can, but there is no obligation to join. Anyway, back to what I'm saying. I've tried to ensure that I've 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 hit the green markers or check boxes for the light and dark toggle. Some people have said they didn't like how many videos were going out, and I'm going to refer to that in a moment, but I just want to double check some comments over here. Elemental Roadmap. It was more of a review over what's come out, and I did feel that we didn't really get to see anything overly exciting. We were told about the send bit, okay? I'm if I'm really honest, if you've already got a newsletter set up or you've got a mailing service, the send thing isn't going to overly excite you. And even if you don't and you do use send, you got to be careful over what kind of messaging you put out, because you don't want to come across as like spamming. Oh, look at this, we got this offer and we got that and we got that, blah, 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 which is the danger. Because some people that have an e-commerce store, I think they lose sight of being careful with what you push out to your customers. Don't bombard them to the point where they hate and they go, oh God, what are you emailing me for? Oh, there's another pop-up. You know, when you go to some websites and it's like pop-up everywhere, and then you go, no, and then there's another pop-up, and then you scroll down and another pop. It's that kind of feeling. And I think that with something like Send, it's a great announcement, but it's not something I at the minute feel like I'm going to go crazy for. However, I could change my mind once I see it, and I could probably say with almost anything, I once I get excited, you'll know about it. Hey, look who's in the house.
Well, it's been a while. I thought I'd say hello.
It is, yeah. Can everyone just let me know if you're getting any feedback? Because I've not. I mean, Mark's got his headphones on. I haven't got mine, but please do let me know if you get any echo feedback. I don't think we will because I've got the volume down low. But how you doing?
Yeah, pretty good, thank you. Yeah,
Your
yeah.
beard's getting whiter.
Yeah, it
Do
happens.
you know what? Mine is. Probably can't tell on the camera, but it is really starting to show now.
Yeah,
Especially down my neck. It looks like I've dropped cream sometimes. Like it's just gone down my neck if I don't trim.
I had mine done last. The neck bit just totally white.
Oh, do you?
So
Do you
yeah, I
normally
keep it.
trim your neck? Sorry, we're off topic here, but
So
do you normally trim your neck?
I get it done. When I get my hair cut, which isn't very often.
I was
I
gonna-
get my beard done as well, and it's the whole hot towels thing. So it's that moment for me. It's my equivalent of the treadmill, I guess. Just kind of and but yeah, the neck had got a bit unkempt, and that was just completely white. And yeah,
Oh,
I
someone's
looked.
just said, you're much louder than me." I need to
Oh,
double.
sorry. I'll talk
No, no,
quiet.
no, you're okay. Is my sound coming through okay, by the way? Can anyone just confirm? Is my sound muffled or low? I think it
You were
sounds okay.
fine when I was
Yeah,
just on
cool.
YouTube.
Okay, let's just go with that at the moment. So, we're not going to talk about web accessibility because we could go on and on about how much it either excites us or annoys us. But I hope you get a chance to have a look at the light and dark toggle bit of code I pulled together as well. It took an immense amount of time back and forth with ChatGPT to get that to. I could have gone with the very first answer it gave and I could have got away with it, but I was like, no, it's got to work a certain way. And as Mark will know from his experiences as well, when you get it to what you really want, even though it's just you prompting, you feel this huge sense of achievement because it wouldn't have got there without your methodical way of going, right, okay, now let's think about this. And no, that's not right. Now let's try. And when you eventually get it there, it feels so good. It's like, but yeah, I've been super excited about getting this video out.
It's at that moment that you make sure you thank ChatGPT,
Oh, yes.
because come the AI revolution, you don't want that knock on your door
No,
from the
no, no. I
robot.
mean, it's like I posted in the Web Squadron group. I have a habit because I always feel like even when it's done what I want, I then might go back later and go, right, now let's refine it a bit more. So I also have to say to it, remember what you've done. This is good. This is brilliant. Because there's been a
Mm.
few times where I've gone back and got it to refine, and it kind of undoes the good stuff. And I go, "No, what are you doing? Go back, you jerk!" And I literally put you asshole, and I put words that just,
I've sworn at it as well. Don't worry.
and it kind of goes, "Sorry, I made a mistake," And
Mm.
if we ever get to the point where we can go to Amazon and purchase humanoid androids, I'm not talking about pin-up dolls. I'm talking about like an android and you could stick a chip in it or it connects automatic. I think it's going to happen. We're going to get stuff that will connect to your Wi-Fi, to your account, and we can talk to it. And the minute it gets like the chat GPT code wrong, even though the code will appear on your screen, you'll be talking to this person or machine or whatever. You're going to end up like, they're going to have to make it like pretty robust because you're just going to want to like punch it when it gets wrong, you know? Um,
Mm.
do you swear at your screen when it gets things really, really wrong?
Yeah, sometimes. Or when it breaks something that it previously
Yeah,
fixed. That's when I swear at it. Um, yeah, and Phil, absolutely. In answer to that question, I even
yeah,
use debug log, console log as well if it's if I'm just in a hurry. But yeah, always,
yeah,
always.
yeah. I mean, I mean, I always, even when even like, when this code was working and like the contrast checker code, that was like a revelation when I got that to work because I was so proud of that contrast checker. If you've not seen it, have a look at that code
I
snippet. It's
haven't.
so good. Um, but even when I knew it was working perfect, I then do like what Phil said. You do the console, all the log checks, and then I even say, now confirm that this is not gonna like eat into your server resources. Because I remember like a while ago, I did create a bit of code for something, and I overlooked the fact that every time it runs, it's firing off on your server, so it's eating into your server resources in your back end, and you might not realize it. But if you're one of those people like me, I do actually go and check every few days. I go to my host provider and I'm
Mhm.
looking at how many executions are happening just to see like, is it normal? Because about 6 months ago, I realized that rank math, yeah, obviously a lot of you will know, there's a redirection process that automatically happens, for 404s. And there was one page that kept getting hit a lot, and it was like it was massively sucking up my server resources. So I had to go and sort that out. But anyway, yeah, we do. Trust me, anyone that's used or seen any snippet that any of us put out, we try to stress test and be very sure of what we're putting out because you know we don't want to be the guy who kind of
Ruins your
creates
website.
a sandwich that tastes like shit. We need to be
Mhm.
sure that sandwich is good.
Yeah, I always send mine to Verdi to test because I'm going to break anybody's machine. I want it to be his.
Does he actually test it though?
He, he,
Because that's
he
the
comes
question. Is I
he
know what
comes up with the
Verdi's like. Does
excuses
he
when
actually test it?
it's generally when I'm back from. I'll have a look, and then you don't you don't hear it. He's always away. It's I because we're talking about servers. I made that snippet for page caching, and yeah, it works. But I don't really trust it because it's page caching. But yeah, it's just a code snippet that works, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah,
So,
I don't know. Have you tried it? I sent it to you, I think.
Was that a while ago? Do you know what? I have to be honest. I do lose track of sometimes what I have and
It's in
have
my
not
code
done.
vault. I think it's super simple page caching or something like that.
I can't remember.
Although, and
I
this is
honestly, I do feel like, um, and I'm not trying to make fun of anyone who knows anyone who's got this, but I do worry about my short term memory. I feel like I I'll walk into a room and I'm literally going, "What did I come here for?"
all the time.
But I really do struggle sometimes at the moment with remembering what I have done or not done, and I've got to keep it on my Notion task list. Like I literally have to make sure I keep track of what I am meant to be
Oh,
doing or
so
not.
have you tried have you tried my task tracker plugin?
Is that out?
No, it's a plugin, so it's not a snippet. So I probably only
No, but did you actually release that plugin?
sent it to a few people for feedback, but I haven't
Yeah,
heard
but
anything
I don't
back.
think you haven't got it out yet, have you?
Mm-mm. It's
No,
only
no.
really simple, just something that you can just stick on your say stick it on your staging site, and then you can just type in what you're working on and mark them off and assign it to people. But it's just on the back end of your site, and then once you're done and it's going to go live, you can uninstall the plugin and it deletes all the tables it creates, and it's good to go.
Yeah, I mean, just to say, Nabi, great to have you here. I know I'm really sorry it's really early, but get back to bed and just watch the replay, okay? And you'll be totally fine. In case anyone's wondering, Mark has worked on like a almost like a task manager or something where you can keep track of tasks, but also you can see you might have assigned some of the tasks to other people. And it's something I was looking at a while ago, but I just couldn't get my prompting right. So, Mark, once, if you think it's good to go or whatever, I'll have another look at that. And hopefully it is something that you can release out there to the masses for people. Because it's quite handy if, look, here's another way to think of it. Atarim is quite a good solution. So
Mm,
you might be working on a website and you got your client, and your client might have access to the website, but the only way you're going to keep the client informed of what you are or are not doing, or maybe you're waiting for something from them, is to either send them a direct email or a WhatsApp, or they go onto Atarim and they'll see a log of what's happening or not happening. But if you could, and this is something I always wanted to get done, but I couldn't get it right, if you could log into your WordPress website and there is the task manager to show what is what's done or what needs to be done, I feel like that's such a great way to keep everyone informed, especially the key players that are actually logged in and working on the website.
mm.
So, I will have another look. I mean, do you think that was a good explanation I made there of it?
Yeah, yeah, it is. I mean, I've I got it to a point, tested it a bit, and I haven't actually used it. I've got a snippet for a timer snippet that I use quite a lot, and that's quite handy, especially if you're working on jobs that you said, oh, I'll just bill you at my hourly rate, or indeed if you just want to track what you're doing through your day. So you just go onto the page, start the timer, then go off and do whatever you want to do, whether it be on that site, on different sites, and then come back and stop the timer, and it asks you to give it a description, and it just adds it to a log for the day.
So is that a
Which,
separate snippet then? So you've
yeah,
got
that's just a snippet. It uses local storage to keep track of when you started and stopped the
yeah, so
browser local storage. That one's I use that quite a lot.
I mean, I think that um the opportunities that open up when you start to embrace using certain snippets is it changes the way you work with your WordPress website. And about 2 or 3 weeks ago, now when you go to our website, there's like a snippets bundle. You can either import 23 snippets all in one go. The moment you import them, they're all deactivated. So don't
Mhm.
worry, anyone, okay? And if it's a duplicate, it won't import. So don't worry about that. Or you can individually do them. So it's pretty safe. But it it removes the use of so many other plugins. At the moment, the admin and site enhancement plugin gets a load of review. Loads of people like it. But at the end of the day, it's just a plugin which is a collection of snippets at the end of the day. Now, I don't know how they've done some of their snippets, but they're basically snippets. and they're just toggle buttons in an interface. So you do that, and it just, I mean, when you toggle it on, all it's doing is activating the snippet. At the end of the day, that's literally all it is. And some of the snippets I've shared do kind of remove the need for you to add on another plugin. And like I've said in other videos, I have so much love and admiration for plugin developers, software, tool solutions. But often when you get like a plugin that does what you want, it also does a load of other stuff that you don't actually need or you don't want.
Mm.
A great example is a dynamic OO. Dynamic OO is really, really good, but 99% of people that use it only use it for the ACF repeaters to show on Elemental. That's literally it. So they're paying for a premium plugin just to do that one thing, which is why I'm so glad I got a code snippet that brings it in.
What did I use it for? I used it for, oh, it was putting content from CPTs, separate CPTs, onto one page. That was quite useful. I can't remember.
Ah,
It was something you turn on there, and you can reference the post type and the term, but you can do it for the actual post. So say you've got post types that have got locations, but you wanted like a sidebar with something from each of those post types.
okay.
It just kind of worked. I'd show you a link, but it's not safe for work. So sorry.
No, no, no. I mean, some of the links that you share, I mean, I've seen what
Yeah.
the buttons you were building the other day. The topic, the subject matter is quite. I think we'll get way too many viewers or the wrong kind of
Yeah,
viewers going on.
possibly.
Tom's question there about any plugins or solutions for building funnels. Well, if I'm honest, okay, there's loads of plugins for affiliates. You just go onto WordPress repository, type it, and there's one I can't remember.
What's that? Oh, there's one I've used. Is it?
I can't remember now. There's what Slice
Oh
WP
no, what was the one?
is a good an affiliate. That's quite an easy one to use for free. But when it comes to building funnels, I think what you need to do is think about what are you selling? So forget everything that happens before. What do you want them to do? Do you want them to sign up for a course, buy some trainers, add some products to the cart? What is it you want them to do? And then you got to backtrack. So now you want them to do that. How do they get there? So do they go to a single product page, or is the product on the home page? So all they got to do is click add to cart. And if it is a single product page or on a shop page, how do they get there? Do you want to give them a video or gallery of images or talk about the benefits? Let's say you're selling an iPhone. Are you then going to say, why is this better than that? Why is it better than the old version or a different phone? And then they go and add it. So really you got to think about, what do you want to achieve, or what do you want them to do? What's the end goal action? Obviously buy something, but then you decide on how you get there. And I feel like it's a subjective answer. But it's all down to what are you doing. And if it was like buy a book, then I would say on your homepage you want to have like an extract. You want to maybe have someone reading the book or holding the book, cover image. Tell us a bit about what's the point of the book or what it's about, and then hopefully you've got links or buttons to go and buy it, get the book. You know.
Mm. How does that factor into affiliate marketing?
No, I'm not that bit. I'm not too sure though. Building full is. I mean, the best way is that you're gonna have a container somewhere that says, "Hey, earn 50%, earn $50 per sale or whatever." So you got to make it enticing for me. I remember someone once said to me, "Hey, you could earn 20%," and I was like, "Yeah, but your product's only $5,
Yeah.
so you know, I'm gonna earn like $1, and then after tax and like fees, 80." And I'm like, I'm not gonna do. Why would I want to put so much effort in for like 80 cents or whatever? Um,
Oh, is it just affiliate WP? Is it
yeah,
as
there's
simple as
affiliate
that?
WP. Slice WP is pretty good as well. Um,
Yes,
but
I've
yeah,
used affiliate WP.
yeah, that's a
It
pretty good
worked.
one.
It worked. Um, but you're only as good as the people that sign up on that one. As a
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I tell you something that is slightly off topic, and I've noticed that Kevin Geary has now um he's kind of announced that he's moving away. I might get the terms wrong here, so Kevin, if you're watching, correct me, okay? That he's now moving towards being more of a, rather than WordPress solutions, he's moving more towards a software company, I believe, or software solutions. And he shared a screenshot that I actually saw last week about Etch. So he's got a product that he's planning to release soon or something. And I have no idea what it is, or, is it a page builder? I don't think it's going to be a page builder. It'd be a bit odd because he uses bricks a lot, and he has passion about using bricks.
Hmm.
But he's obviously, the automatic CSS and all of that, or Framer. I do wonder about Etch. It sounds to me like, I don't know, either it's image AI or something like that. But I don't know if you had any
Oh,
thoughts.
yeah, I've not seen any of this, but when you say Etch, I always just think about Etch a Sketch.
Ex- that's exactly what I thought as well, and I kept trying to think, like, what could it be or not at all. So back to the topic of today's video, which was about, are you liking the videos I'm putting out? Um, I I do get a lot of mixed messages where some people don't mind if I put out whatever I put out. I don't like to put out a video every day, but sometimes if I've already got it ready or it follows a sequence of videos, I can't help it. And the same goes with Paul and other people as well. Sometimes if we've got stuff ready, we put it out. But it reminds me of a situation. I'd like to get your take on this, Mark, as well. Is about 2 years ago, someone contacted me and said, "Can you stop putting out um, comments?" So on YouTube, you have the community tab where you can sometimes put like a comment. So it's not a video; you could put out an image. And usually, when you go to your YouTube subscription, you'll notice that maybe I've put out a video, or I've maybe put like a paragraph of text about what I'm working on or whatever. And what they said to me is stop doing that, because every day there's something from you and I don't like it. And at first I thought, damn, they're right. I don't want to become like a spammer who's always putting out either a video or an image or something related to creating videos or WordPress, or maybe I'm looking at another plugin. And I started easing back on how much I used it. And then over Christmas time, uh, I don't know if I mean, do you know Think Media? So, great channel talking about YouTube and use of equipment and tech. They do repeat themselves a lot. They keep regurgitating the same kind of thing, so it gets a bit repetitive. But what they did say was they put out 4 or 5 things a day. So they might put out 2 or 3 videos a day, or they put out whatever content they want to put out. And I would never do that. What they said was, if you've got something to say or share it, do it. Don't hold back just because someone has said you're putting out too much, because they're not always going to be. Basically what I'm trying to say is, if you don't put it out, then someone who could have seen it at that point in time misses out. And that leads into marketing with regards to companies and businesses that they complain, "Oh, my website's not on page one. Oh, no one's reading my post. Oh, no one's buying my product. You built the website, Mark. It's your fault." And you're like going to go, "Yeah, but we built your website. We did your SEO. But if you're not promoting or letting people know about your post or about your latest product, no one's going to come to the website," kind of thing. And I feel like so I do put out quite a bit of content. I have to hold my hands up to that. But honestly, if I've got something to say or share, just do it.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things here. Firstly, I don't have to listen to you.
No, you don't.
If somebody's got a problem with logging into YouTube and can't stop themselves from viewing your content, who's that on? That's not on you. Secondly, if it's good content, can you have too much of a good thing? I mean, we can have too much of Paul There you go, Paul. I said I was going to say something, and I have. You can have too much Paul, but Imran, never too much Imran. I missed
Yeah.
that. What did he say?
Oh, he said something about he hates your guts. He's right now. He's right now stabbing his spaghetti, and he's imagining these are your intestines. So he's just.
Oh, he'll get his own back. Um, yeah, I mean that almost sounds like any PR is good PR. I mean, there's a company I work with, and
Oh, we know
without
about the
without
companies you work
so
with.
without saying anything that's not safe for work, the previous owner was arrested and then killed himself in prison. And so the name of the company was all over the press because ex-owner of, and that saw masses of business for the business now under new ownership because people don't, they disassociate the bad bit. Some bloke
Yeah,
was inside for attempted murder and then docked himself. They just see the brand and they go, oh yeah, that brand. So yeah, just get yourself out there.
yeah,
If,
absolutely,
and
absolutely.
if you're pissing off 50% of the people, there's 50% of people you aren't.
It's a bit like something I was saying to someone today, and then I went and put it into a tweet as well, just because I felt like, yeah, that's pretty good advice. Is that there's always like there's always going to be a minority that do hate what I do or hate my videos or they don't like my voice or the way I do things or they don't like that I did an elemental video. And it's always 1%. That 1% can hurt you for a moment,
Hmm.
and because if someone says something to you, whether it's direct or indirect, you'll feel it. But then you have to remind yourself about the fact that there's a load of other people that do appreciate you. And at the end of the day, unless the person who doesn't like what you do pays your bills, provides your income, puts the food on your table or whatever, who cares? And
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a little bit responsible for my son in that my wife has said to me, he's very much like you, where he literally now will just turn around and say to me, um, the world is always moving, and if I stop, then the world keeps moving and I'm playing catch up. He kind of repeats what I've said out loud a little bit, and he believes in it as well, where he now understands that, like, you know, unless there's a good reason to stop and take stock of what you're doing, just do what you want to do. And if you believe in it and you have a passion for doing something and you're not hurting anyone intentionally or stepping on anyone's shoes, in any malicious way, just achieve, get out there and do it.
Yeah, I'd just like to say at this point, you are a tiring role model for people, though, because you never stop. So if people are trying to be
I
like Imran, they're never
I
going to sleep.
so I had 3 days off.
Yeah. 3 days at the most expensive place in
Oh,
the
let me repeat
world.
that. I had Friday afternoon until Monday morning, so technically 3 days in total. I went to Center Parks.
Yeah, but you need to work there to pay for it.
Yeah, well, that is exactly it. But also, I'm one of the. I don't know if you're like this, Mark. But there's always things, ideas, and happening in my head. There's always things sparking. You know, like, oh, what about this and what about that? And even though I've got this light and dark toggle video come out today, I'm already thinking about, well, what if I had done something else? And could I
Hmm.
use that code in a completely different scenario, but adapt the code to do something else? And and I always feel like we need people like that, because otherwise, the minute someone invented a car, if there isn't someone else out there going, well, how could I make that better? How could I do that differently? We'd still be driving the same cars from 100 odd years ago. Probably
Yeah.
not. That's probably a bad example, actually.
No, you're right. We do. We progress, we evolve, and we
That's the word.
enhance.
We evolve.
And you know,
I do
it's very
struggle with
it's
that.
very easy for us to sit back and go, "That's good enough.
Hmm.
That'll do. It works." especially when we're being paid to do it, and it's like, well, we could
Oh,
spend an
when it's a
extra.
client, when it's a
Yeah,
client, we just want to go, right, it's done and move
yeah, yeah.
on. We don't want to think
And
anymore. We
actually,
go,
you know,
right,
that that
bigger
moves me
image.
back to that actually moves us back nicely to something like accessibility. Have you started quoting with that in mind for client jobs, or have you literally ditched all your clients now?
No, we still have client work. I've
Mhm,
eased back on it. So now, for all the right and wrong reasons, um, I only want to deal with certain types of clients or certain price ranges or whatever,
mhm,
mainly because juggling content creation and client work, it was so like, eh, you know, it got to a point where when I was working on like a client's website and I might be on it for like a week, like start to finish project, all I could think of in my head was I've got 10 ideas for 10 new videos and I would rather be
doing
doing
that.
that. I've got a
Yeah,
code snippet idea,
yeah, yeah.
but I can't. I've got to focus on this. And I found,
And it's tedious because you've done it a million times before, and it's just a different look
well,
to the
it's,
same old thing, right?
like when a client then says, "Oh, we want to change the images," you feel like, and again, no disrespect to anyone out there, but you feel like that's piss easy. Anyone can
Hmm.
do that. But I'm doing, yeah, I'm getting paid for it, but I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Whereas I know that not everyone
It
could
it's it
maybe
it it's like going to hospital
do something
and
else.
the brain surgeon stitches up your cut thumb. It's like,
Yeah,
"What's going on?
yeah,
Why is this happening? What a waste of resources." And
exactly.
without wanting to sound big-headed, it can be like that in the web design world when you're dealing with clients because they haven't got a clue, and they're asking you to do something that to your head is like, "Why am I doing this?" You know, how can I justify my charges for doing this as well sometimes? It's like, you want me to change some images around or make your logo bigger? You know, but actually that's interesting. So you're picking and choosing your clients,
Yeah,
and are you tending to want to go for the high value clients with the more
yes,
complex custom jobs
yeah.
over multiple smaller clients who could become bigger clients and if their
Well,
businesses grow? And equally eggs and baskets.
yeah. So if I've got a client or a potential client and it's like a small, easy website, if they're going to pay the price I've set, and I know I can get it turned around quite quick, and you
Mhm,
get the feeling that they're going to be an easy to work with person with regards to like the content's good to go, ready. There's not going to be too much hand holding, and what about this? And I'm waiting on this now. Quick turnaround, I'll do it and get it done.
mhm.
If I it, especially if I think it can lead on to other things, 9 times out of 10, a lot of clients there is very little repeat work for them because they just want a basic website up, and you know that
Yeah.
there's not going to be much more happening.
I've had a few COVID businesses sort of get in touch recently, sort of saying, "Yeah, we're going to turn the website off." Yeah, no, no shit, Sherlock, because it was a rubbish idea, and then it's even worse now.
No,
But I wasn't going to say no during that period or give the advice that said, "Oh, you know, I don't know if this business idea is great." I was going to say, "Yeah, I'll take your money." Um, yeah, no, I know what you mean about client pricing, and well, not client pricing so much as what jobs to take on. I think I was looking at what we're working on at the moment. I've got something we're doing that's under £1,000 to a job that we're working on that's over 25,000. It's it'll be completely different, massively different
yeah,
projects, as you would
absolutely,
imagine.
yeah.
Um, which do I prefer? Quick turnaround's nice for cash flow.
Well, I so when I say I prefer, well, if I like to work with premium clients. I also like to know though that even though it's a premium client, I can get the job done without over stressing. Because there's nothing worse than when you take on a high paying client and it's a very complex job, because then you really feel the pressure now. Like, you've got to deliver.
Mm.
Um, so
But that feeling of satisfaction when you do,
it's a great feeling, but
and actually
I,
creating systems and back end systems is what I really enjoy doing. So the website, the front end of the website feeds information, and then they're managing their entire business from the back end of their website. These are the sites I like building because he pays me well for my time in kind, I gather.
I'm not sure what he's referring to there. No, but yeah, you are right. I mean, I think it's been it will be June 2022 is the last time. So it's over 2 years ago now. Is the last time I worked on where I took on a project where I was like that about could I deliver what they want,
Mm.
and I had a lot of sleepless nights on it, kind of thing. And I remember deciding no, I've got to be either 80% sure I can deliver with room for compromise or renegotiate how we tackle it. I don't want to take on anything where I'm going to be just like completely stuck. But I like to problem solve. I like to find a different way of doing something, but even then you kind of have to have an idea of where you would go and how you would try and tackle it, or what you would
Mm.
use to hopefully go and achieve it. But if like if someone came to me now and said they want to build an Amazon type website, there's plugins out there for it, but I've never worked with those plugins. So until I've worked with them and I know what they can and can't do, I would be like, nope. Even though Docan is a very popular plugin, I've never used Docan.
Oh, it's quite good.
Oh, you can have the job then if ever you if ever I'll go, here you go to Mark. But it's a bit like I like to have that little bit of certainty in my mind, because something I'm seeing more and more and more, and anyone here who's part of the Web Squadron Facebook group, you will recognize my answer is question gets posted. I need to achieve this, and there's a video or an image, and or it's got to be like this website. And one of my first answers is this for you or a client?
Oh,
And the minute they say it's for a client, my instant reaction is,
here's my
why did
hourly
you
rate.
agree to do this? Why did you agree? Why did you? Because I feel sorry for the client now. The client's probably paid a deposit, probably paid you something because you said you would deliver it.
Yeah.
And their expectation, isn't it? Oh,
Yeah, but there's
I've
an
got a web
element
designer. They're going to do this
let's
for me.
be fair here. He will, whoever that is, they probably will, but they just need a bit of help to get there. So part of your is, I know how to do 95% of this, 5% I'll get help, and I know where that'll come from, so I'm all
Yeah.
good. Luckily, I don't need to very often post like that because I've got a couple of developers as well, couple now you notice, working alongside. So if I can't do it, they can.
Yeah, and by the way, I want to let you all know now, this is exclusive, okay? All of us, when we can't do anything, we go to Verdi Hines. So Verdi is your number one person for any WordPress problem,
Absolutely,
any
tag him
snippets,
in
any plugin,
everything.
anything.
Just tag Birdie. He loves the
Poor Verdi's
attention.
inbox just went
That or Paul.
just kind of exploded right now.
So his elemental questions go to Paul Charlton for sure. He's
That is very true.
mm.
I was going to say something that's completely gone out of my head now, and it was to do with solutions and stuff like that. It's completely gone out of my mind. I
Oh, I
hate
had
it
a
when that
question.
happens. This is what I mean by
I
my
had a question.
short-term memory.
That job that you said you were 80% you weren't about doing a couple of years ago, and you said no. Now with AI on your side, would you say yes?
Potentially, yes.
Hmm.
I think that what we had to eventually do, I think some code snippets could maybe have done it. So it was basically it was like a competition website.
I
So
remember you doing this.
you might remember, yeah, it was about 2 years ago, and it's one of these websites where you buy tickets to win a
Mm-hmm.
car or win this or win that and all of that, and you can't. PayPal and Stripe and quite a lot of payment gateways will not allow you to. They don't like working with competition websites because there's
No,
obviously the issue over gambling, refunds, and all of that.
they
And
are
in
our
the end,
moral arbiters.
yeah, and in the end, we had to use Square, and we did use a plugin called It's not. It's not the
Raffle,
official
raffle
WooCommerce.
something on Code Canyon, I think.
Yes, that's it.
Mm,
It's that one. It's the lottery WooCommerce, but it's not the official WooCommerce lottery. It's a different one. And we got it to do what we want. The trouble is that because it had to look a certain way, the amount of CSS coding that had to go in
mm,
was quite unbelievable, and it was quite tricky because the way the Code Canyon, the way it was built, it wasn't done very well. It was like the wrapping of elements and stuff was ridiculously stupid in the way they did it. Um, we got it working, and it worked brilliantly, and they're doing quite well. But I remember at the time it was like basically because you're using a Code Canyon plugin, the developers, they weren't very quick or good at coming back to you with, well,
mm.
this is the issue or this is the problem. And because whenever you buy a plugin off Code Canyon, it's sometimes a very niche plugin. So there's not going to be many people out there that know how to use it. Or
Yeah,
if they do use it, they won't use it the way you want to use it. So you're not going to get much support. And I do think that now, I mean, you use Claude quite a bit.
I like
ChatGPT,
Claude. Claude's good.
never met him, but I've heard
No,
the
he's
AI is
good.
quite good.
I like the way you can set up projects and
Yeah.
upload documents to the projects, and it refers to those and things like that. And I love the split screen view and having a copy button at the bottom of the code window. Oh, small
Well,
things.
I still hate the fact that ChatGPT, you can't remove loads of your old. I mean, I've still got prompts from 2022. And like today, I was deleting loads from
Mm,
2023 because I haven't deleted them. And I hate the way you can't just, you know, tick all of them, but leave like your latest 3 or 4 and get rid of them all in one go. I do hate that.
search, archive, put them into folders. It'd all be handy.
Well, projects,
Yeah,
like something where you could go, these are like your snippet folder, or this is, I don't
I
get
found out
why
this
we haven't
week
got that yet.
you can upload a zip file to ChatGPT. So, say you've got a plugin zip file, you can upload that, and it will look through all of it to some
Oh,
extent.
not
That's quite
tried that
handy.
actually, but I do think that like with ChatGPT, um, you could easily start to create snippets that would remove the need to use certain plugins. And what
Mm,
I like it is now, sometimes I go to ChatGPT, like the other day, I went in and said, "Are you aware of WooCommerce version 9?" And it went yes. And I was a bit like, "Is it really? Was it just saying that?"
just saying that.
you know because like one of the snippets I did and then you did your version, which was actually better, the WooCommerce one for where you can remove checkout fields.
Yeah.
That doesn't work now because since
Mm,
WooCommerce 9 they changed the hooks.
right.
And I started looking into it and I never finished it off.
Mm.
Is being able to go to some form of AI um and try and get it to work with you to find new solutions. It's
Oh, I guess it will do because sometimes I've had old code and I've asked it to update it for a newer version of PHP, and it's done it fine. So
yeah,
I'm
it's
sure it will.
it's it's brilliant. And that's um I mean, that being said though, I have stopped asking ChatGPT to find me a way of doing WooCommerce subscriptions without using any
Given up on it.
code. I've
Yeah.
given up on that because it always comes back to the same issue with regards to how WooCommerce have got their hooks and stuff done, and the way it then has to integrate back with the API, and then it opens a can of worms because then PayPal or Stripe has to talk back, and it's
Mm.
a huge headache, but it is still one I really hope one day someone cracks, because whoever cracks that with a snippet, the streets will be paved with gold for you forever. Well,
Well, I
not
won't
from
because you're
me.
giving it away of the code
I'm not
snippet.
gonna,
Um,
but I think that
Something I said the other day actually in Messenger is I was working on something and I just had this realization that we may knock page builders. People might not like Elementor, and they like the way Breakdance does things, or WP Bakery, all the rest of it. But actually, any of them are a step up from handwriting CSS.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, oh, I shared a bit of CSS for just
Yeah, I
3
know.
fields. It was crazy.
I
I
know.
mean, it worked perfectly, but it was just the amount of effort compared to what a page builder can do. And I think we all got to sort of we moan about them an awful lot, but
I think it's
remember what it
because
used to be like?
yeah, I think it's because we always want a bit more, or we want to do something really fine tuned. But if you take if you take the basics of like, I mean, I would actually say that if you're a basic website builder and you just want to build a simple brochure website, you could use Gutenberg. You could just go straight for Elementor. You might not even need to go for Elementor Pro. You might just go for Elementor Free. You could use Breakdance. If you want to think a bit more, that's when I would say now you're entering in the bricks territory.
Hmm.
I don't think bricks is really for your basic builder because you've got to think a bit about, your classes and all of that. But if it's just a pure basic website, these a load of page builders are absolutely fine. We always want to do something
Or
a little bit different, a little bit more, and that's where we get frustrated, like
yeah,
dynamic fields and repeaters and stuff coming in. And I think that's we just have to accept that, in 2024, page builders have been around for quite a while. Bricks has been out now a while, but none of them are perfect. Even Breakdance, I don't use it, but even I hear about flaws in that as well. And it's like, so every time there's a new page builder, and I bet there'll be another thing that comes out next year, which is meant to be better than
quickly for
Elementor
free.
Breakdance
Have you
and
spoken
everything.
about that?
What's that?
Quickly is now free and available.
I haven't looked at it.
I
I've seen the
played with
post.
it and always liked tinkering with it. It was an interesting
Did you
experience to
like it
work with.
though? Did you
I
actually
there was so
like it?
it was very satisfying from a technical point of view working with it. I
Satisfying.
just it was just felt geeky, and I liked that. So I might now it's free to download. I might stick it up somewhere and have
I
a
might
proper
have to have
play.
another look at it because I
Mm.
looked at it. Oh,
And
about a
Tailwind
year and a half
integration as
ago.
well. Yeah, that was why I liked playing with it because I it was combining something I'd always wanted to have a look at and never got round to, which was Tailwind. So that was
Yeah, I
quite
mean, I
cool.
might have to have a look at it because I did I struggled with it when I was like I don't know, and I was like I don't know, I couldn't get to grips with it too quickly, which is
Mm.
kind of a pun there. But
No, it was not immediately obvious at all. It really
no,
isn't.
but I might have
Um,
another look at it. Um,
yeah, Phil, the CSS thing. Actually, though, once I was back into it and working with it, I did kind of like the control it gave me again, and just being able to just quickly type something in and save, and there it was working, and I wasn't browsing through menus. Which accordion is it in to do this, and making quick changes, and just the level of specificity for the CSS classes and things like that was really good.
well,
But oh, as well,
well, the thing is, I let some people know that I am planning to redo the Elementor website course. um, just because
it's
there's
only
been
been
so
out
many.
6 months, isn't it?
Hey,
Only been out six
no,
months,
it
isn't
actually
it?
came out September last year.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's been there's been so many things have changed and whatever in either Elementor or WordPress. But what I've been doing, like I know I repeat myself, but like with the light and dark toggle, like with the contrast checker, like with the custom colors that you can use from Elementor, if you add in another snippet, like with the font clamp and all of that, I now feel like I've done a lot of hand holding, and I now want to get the course and people to think more about, don't rely on the easy style option that you get in Elementor where you pick your font or you pick your typography and you pick your color. I now want people to start doing it more as like a framework. So I'm not going to get you to use a plugin. I'm not saying you got to get this or get that or core framework or anything, but I'm just saying within your custom CSS, because you can start to be a bit more particular and prescriptive about what certain headings or classes do, just to get people to get a bit more used to CSS, because I do feel like I know some people that are really super good at coding, but because they've got so used to maybe like Gutenberg or Elementor, they drop in a widget, they pick their color, they pick their font, and then they go, oh, but it doesn't look right, it doesn't look right. And you go, yeah, just drop a bit of CSS in. You can see their brain kind of go, and when you talk them through it and explain it, they get it. But because, like, we're going back to talking about page builders now, they've got so institutionalized into just using the options that you get in the style.
Yeah.
That's all they do.
Yeah,
And
I
then they
had to drop
and
some into something this morning just for that reason. It didn't look quite right. So I think it was buttons aligning to the bottom of a container, and it's just, oh, why have they not sorted this? It wasn't an Elementor widget. I think it might have been from UAE, so the Brainstorm Force plugin.
all right, yeah,
I bought it years and years and years ago, so I still use some of the widgets on it. It's quite good, and it's those guys write decent code. And but yeah, so you could get the containers. There was a post listing widget. You get the containers equal height, but then the buttons were still all over the shop. And just like, why haven't you got
yeah.
a toggle for that as well?
So pre-warning to anyone on the Elemental website course, because the current members will automatically get access to the new version. I'm going to be getting you to now think a little bit more prescriptively about setting up some frameworks, because it just makes it easier and quicker for you to adapt things, and it means that you're just going to have so much more control over what you do. Greg says started with WP. I think a lot of us have used WP Bakery at some point,
Came
or
with
we've had
bundled
to
with
with a
so many
client.
themes, didn't it, as well?
You know, he's used WP Bakery, Divi, then Elementor, now Breakdance, which is really, really excellent. It's a shame there isn't more. The reason, Greg, why, and again, if Breakdance, Louis, anyone who loves Breakdance is watching, this is nothing against you, but the messaging and the promos around Breakdance are, in my opinion, too negative. And I even if, like, I feel like, yeah, it's a decent product, if the way the messaging is done, it puts me off. So
Mm,
I like drinking Pepsi Max, okay? But if Pepsi Max were to start putting out videos where they started saying stuff like, anyone who drinks Coke is stupid, you're really dumb, you're thick, so drink Pepsi Max. Even though I prefer Pepsi Max, it puts me off,
mm.
because you're using toxic messaging to get an audience, and I feel
Yeah,
like it's
without going political, isn't that an American thing though?
it
Looking
is,
at
and it's
the
like
upcoming elections.
Breakdown started off with like slamming Elementor. Now
Mm,
they've started slamming bricks. Have you noticed their posts they put out now? Now they've started going, people who use bricks can't do this and can't do that. You got to use breakdance, and I just don't like that. And a really good example, okay, is I never like to discuss or share what my political views are. But when not Brexit, when the 2019 general election was happening between Corbyn and Boris Johnson mainly, in our open plan office, and when I say open plan, it was, it was quite a small room. There's about 15 people, and one of the people who works there came in the room, and what they said was, I can't stand all the idiots that voted for Brexit. Now, I'm not going to say what my views on Brexit were or not. I don't like to discuss political things online. But the minute they said that, all I could think in my head was, okay, that's your view. But you don't know if other people in that room did or did not. And you've just said all the idiots that voted for
mhm.
Brexit. You've literally called some people in here idiots, even though you don't know who did or did not. And the minute people use toxic messaging, it just puts me off. Like, I was like, I don't think I'm ever going to want to talk to you ever again. The next time you bring in a carrot cake, I don't like carrot cakes anyway, so I wouldn't have had it anyway. I will not have it, even though I wouldn't have had it anyway. So, Greg, really long-winded answer. Paul and me, and others.
Doesn't Cracker still do breakdance videos?
Do you know something? Because I don't subscribe or to any breakdance videos. I don't know. I think he Udura Cracker. I think he
Mm,
does.
he's
There
very
are a
good.
few
So
others that do. In fact, I think Jeffrey from Lightbox. I think
Lightbox.
he was going to do some. He hasn't, but I think he was planning to. Um, so it's nothing against it. It's just if they if they changed their promos to be more about here's what's coming out, here's what we've got, here's what's good about it.
Yeah, but I mean, the issue is they released into a marketplace that had other builders, and they're not going to be encouraging new people to suddenly become web designers. They're looking to steal market share.
Yeah,
So to steal market share, you've
you
got two
got to
options.
ruffle a bit. You got to.
You've got to
Hey,
show
friendly
why
girl.
you're better.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, one good thing about Bricks is Thomas and Bricks. I don't think, and if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong because I haven't seen it. But I don't think I've ever seen an official promo from Thomas or the Bricks team about we are better than XYZ. I feel like they've just kind of taken you on a journey of this is what we want to do, and this is what, in fact, one of their key messages is about, like the global classes and all of that. They were showcasing this is what we got. So they never said Elemental don't have that, but we've got it. And I feel like I always prefer that. I always
Mm.
prefer like to be told
I
what am I
guess
going to
maybe
get.
there's an element of Louis feels he's got to drum the message home because the average Elemental user might not know what they're missing out on.
Yeah,
That's a
true.
polite way of putting it.
No,
Yeah.
you are right there. Yeah, yeah, friendly girl. I mean, you are a bit late, and I am going to jump off in about 3 minutes. So, but don't worry, you're here anyway, and it's always good to see you back and everyone else. Don't forget to smash the like button if you are watching. What are you? Um, are you? Are you working on more client work now? Because I know you love to play around with snippets and stuff.
I just got client work snippets in the spare time, or when I see the need to do something for a project I'm working on. But yeah, loads of client work on.
Have you ever thought about releasing some of them as plugins or going to another level with your snippets? Because sometimes I do feel like the amount of unseen hours that we put into investigating snippets, it's unbelievable, right? I mean, you know, people
Yeah,
just don't know how much
but then, as
tears
Atif
we
would tell
put.
us, you're opening yourself up to support and the
That's
risk of,
exactly why I never
well,
go down the
if
plugin
it's
route.
something free you're giving away in a
It's
Facebook
on,
group
well,
or
for
even
me,
on
it's
Code
like,
Snippets Cloud, it's
here's the code, right? And if I got it wrong, you can see the code, go and refine it and
yeah,
make a better
sold as
version.
seen, most definitely, because there's no price and here it is. Look at it. Um, yeah, well, not really.
No, no. I mean, I always feel like rather than monetizing the snippets that we create, I always feel like that knowing that you've made a difference or you've helped someone out or you've made their life easier
Hmm.
and they are now better for it, I feel like that helps you to feel good, but also it helps your brand, like you. It helps people to get.
Imran snippets making people better all over the world.
Yeah. Well, I call it mad. I say, I love to make you mad. So, I love to know. No, I love to know I'm mad, making a difference. But it's like to be honest, people might have seen your name here and there, but then the minute we started sharing or letting people know, and I don't just mean with you jumping on here. I don't mean that, but I mean like when you created a snippet and we did a video or shared your face, it helps you and your brand, doesn't it? It
I
helps
don't have
people
a
to.
brand.
No, you are, Mark. You're a brand now. You're like a snippet guru, kind of
It
thing. And I
doesn't
feel
pay,
like,
that's for sure.
and I feel like, it builds
So
our
far,
profile.
all I've got out of this is Ferdy's mobile number. I don't know if that's a win or a lose.
Well, it's not a bad thing. It
And
doesn't mean
he
anything.
still hasn't dropped a Lambo off at my door. So
Financially, it doesn't mean anything. I can tell you that now. So don't anyone out there that thinks that, oh, because you guys are friends with Verdi, you must be rolling in it. No, the most I look, I've got a code snippet hoodie
mm,
that I
that's
sometimes
better than
wear when
I
I
got.
go gardening.
I got a 1 year pro license.
Hey, yeah,
And
yeah,
you had to sort that out.
Yeah, that's there's a, yeah, I did actually, didn't I? Yes, I
And
did. Yes,
you're in our
but
teeth.
no,
Yeah,
there are some benefits, but it puts us with a good crowd, I think, at the end of the day, and that's why
yeah.
I would say to anyone watching, if you start to develop your own snippets, you know, you don't have to send them to me and go, "Oh, Imran, do a video on this." Why don't you start sharing them out yourselves as well? Build up your own profile or your brand. Show off that you can do things. Just gonna double check here. Mark says, I am done with everything WordPress. I'm moving over to Framer, more professional when it comes to design. Do you know something? I am actually planning to do a video, and I don't know if I have to hire actors or if I'm going to do it myself. And it's basically going to be a video about Elementor, Bricks, Gutenberg, and Wix. It's going to be a 1 minute video, and the what's the word called? The point of the video is to basically say who gives a what you're using. You're a web designer. At the end of the day, when it's online, most people, most customers, most clients, most audience ain't gonna know F from G from H from I over how it was built. They're not gonna have a clue. All
Don't
they want to
don't
know is
don't
that
don't do this. You know whose feathers you'll ruffle.
I know, but but I do think that it doesn't matter. It's like you know, it's like if you went somewhere like to your mate's house and they've just made something or they give you a sandwich, you or in fact, when you do buy like a baguette from a shop, like a sandwich shop maybe, you
Mm.
don't know what butter they've used, you don't know what cheese they've used. Well, you can see it and taste it, but you don't know where did the tuna mayo come from? Was it just from Tesco's and they just smeared it on and charged you 5 times as much or whatever? It's like as long as it delivers, as long as it does what it needs to do, um, because I feel like I'm done with the days where someone goes, "Oh, they're a Wix user." I don't use Wix, but I'm a bit like, fine. If it helps them do what they want to do, I have my views about the infrastructure and the way you're locked into their,
Mm.
monthly mechanism and all of that. I have an issue. I don't like that,
Yeah,
but
I've just come up this morning, but it wasn't Wix. It was Big Commerce, I think. A good
yeah, or
friend, a guy I've known years, who's got an IT background but not web design. He's moved into something else. He built himself a website. And now he feels completely trapped by Big
yeah.
Commerce.
Well, it's like some people who've unfortunately gone and signed up for WordPress.com. You can migrate and get the website out, but sometimes you know your domain or something is locked with a certain provider. Um, but yeah, the point I was making was is I don't I don't I I I don't really care like if a shop website is using WooCommerce or Shortcut or something else, as long as I can get what I need to get, or even if you're Shopify, or even if you're a full site editing website, or Stratic, whatever it is, even if, I don't care, as and most of people, 99% don't care either as well. As long as
They're paying for a result.
the paying result, exactly, and as long as the website works and you've delivered, I just think that like I mean, it gets me so. I mean, I don't want to go into it. I don't want to go into it. I've got to stop myself. But the internal WordPress war over what is better or not. It's like, but you're using WordPress. We could argue about why are you even using WordPress? Why are you not using just building the site manually with
Mm.
pure code?
For just a brochure site, as Phil's just said, he's built something in HTML recently.
Exactly.
Yeah, and actually that makes a load of sense. I
It
imagine that
does.
site is blisteringly fast for what it is.
Exactly.
Um, yeah.
And it's like Paul has said as well, for really basic websites, why are you using Bricks? Why are you using Elementor? Why are you even using WordPress?
Mm.
I mean, you could even argue that, we joke about Go. We're going to end in a moment, Bo, but we joke about GoDaddy quite a bit.
Oh, come on.
But for a really super basic website, if the client's gone and got GoDaddy hosting, and all they want to do is just like showcase their logo, their contact, their images, and who they are and what they do, just go and build. Just use the the GoDaddy inbuilt page
Site
builder.
builder.
I mean, I don't want to do that, but maybe that's all the client needs because it's all within the GoDaddy infrastructure, and you don't have to worry about plugins and WordPress 6.6 coming out, which might affect or not affect some websites. You don't have to worry about any of that. So yeah, as long as it delivers, and the client pays a lot of money or not, then who cares, right?
Well,
Right, Mark, I'm going to let you go. Great having you back.
good to pop in and say hello. My little pop into the
Your
chat
camera's
turned
really
into
good
something
today.
more.
Have you changed your camera, or the qualities are very clear?
I think it's just one of those natural light today is perfect. So
Could well be, yeah. No, it's just super clear, super clear. I mean, you still look older, but yeah, it's super clear.
it happens. It's been a while.
How's this, isn't it? I think the last time would have been February. I stopped doing
Yeah.
live chats in February before resuming them again. But yeah, it's a very niche audience. There's only certain people that are ever allowed on this live chat, so it's not free for all anymore. But luckily, Marcus Part was one of the good guys, kind of thing. Verdi
Thank
is
you.
never allowed.
You've had Verdi on live.
We would have Verdi. If Verdi ever wants to jump on, in fact, I'll go and ask him, Verdi, do you want to come back on again? But
He's
no,
he's
cool.
away somewhere till August, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, he's always away.
Yes, true.
I'm going to end by saying I could not do what a lot of these companies do where they are attending event after event after event. I couldn't do that. I mean, then again, they have a different work life, right? They're not building websites or doing everything we do with clients and, stuff like that. But I couldn't. It's bad
No,
enough when
you
I have to
don't
go
want
to
to leave
Tesco
the
down the road.
house, do you? Let's be honest.
What's that?
I mean, how many months did your wife have to nag you about going to Centre Parks?
That was actually my idea.
No.
It was my idea. I kid you not. But have you ever been Centre Parks?
Come on, do I look like I'm rolling in money?
No. I mean, no. I will let everyone know though. I went to the one in Sherwood Forest, which is Nottingham, because Nottingham schools end a week after Leicestershire. The prices were literally almost 60% of what they would have been if we'd gone a week later. Huge
So
difference. Like,
school's finished in Leicestershire then, where you are.
yeah, they finished last week. No, I
Okay.
just skived school. No, yeah, no. But
Yeah.
it was great, but it felt a little bit boring. Like everywhere you walked looked the same. It's the same trees, the same cabins, and I've now decided that I'm looking at maybe going and doing something in the Peak District, because then when you do go out for a bike ride or walking, there's variety.
You could leave the country.
No, sod that. Can't be. I went Edinburgh in April, which was like Scotland. I left the country kind of, you know.
Oh dear.
No, I don't know about. Do you go on holidays much?
Used to, haven't for a while.
Yeah, I'm one of those people, which I'm sure you can tell. If I know I'm going to lose like an hour and a bit going to the airport, then another couple of hours checking in and waiting, then the plane ride, then I always feel like, right, that's 6 or 7 hours of my life where I achieved zilch, because you're not
Do you understand the concept of relaxation?
no, but it's not until you actually get there. So there's
No,
only.
I love the airport and the flying bit.
Do you?
Yeah,
It
yeah,
drives
yeah,
me
yeah.
potty. It drives me mad. It does. I don't know. I think I'm impatient. Like,
It's just the holiday starts. I'm not working. I'm sitting back. I'm got my feet up and watching some film on. Yeah, great. Holiday starts. Wine, thank you. Good.
do you know? I think that's my problem. I
You
always
don't drink.
I I'm always like, I kid you not, it drives my family mad sometimes because I'm like, um, right, we're gonna eat at 5 o'clock, okay, and make sure we eat, and then after that, right, we are gonna catch up on like the House of Dragon with the latest episode of Boys. Not my son; he's not allowed to watch it, but I'm gonna do X, Y, Z. If my wife or anyone decides to do anything different, I'm like, but you've now ruined my schedule. Like I had scheduled the boys. We have to watch it from there, da 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 da. Because if we don't, Cobra Kai starts soon, and we have a backlog.
Tomorrow,
It is,
Cobra
yeah,
Kai's tomorrow.
exactly. And I
But
think
then, do you
I
not
think
get
my
annoyed
wife now
when
understands like there's
aren't the
nothing
boys'
worse than having a
episodes very
backlog.
aren't the boys' episodes variable length? So does that not screw your schedule when you think it's going to be an
Slightly,
hour and it's an hour and 20?
it does slightly. And for anyone who has now left the chat or wondering what the hell we're talking about, The Boys is a show on Amazon Prime. It is not about young boys. It's about there's just a group called The Boys. But
And
I
there are
mean,
girls in the group called the boys.
there are,
Mm.
and every time we watch it, my wife's like, "Put the volume down, put the volume down." So I have to have the volume on like volume 3 because she doesn't want like my son who might be on his computer in another room, and I'm like, he can't even hear us. She goes, or
It
what? Do
is
you know what
quite
really gets her
sweary.
mad is when they actually go and use a swear word like MF,
Mhm.
and she's like, "You put the volume down afterwards." I was like, "But how could I know they were going to say it? I don't know
It's
they're going to say it. They
it's
just
the
come out with
boys.
it."
Every sentence contains a swear word, and if it is MF, you got off lightly.
Yeah. I'm like, well, I didn't know they were gonna say it, were they? And sometimes I want to hear it because otherwise it affects what I hear, and But yes, right, I'm gonna let you go, Mark. Take care, mate. Thanks for
And you,
being
bud.
here. Thanks to everyone. If I missed any of your questions, I'm really sorry about that, and I promise you we will talk more about WordPress next time. We never really do.
No.
Take care.